Welcome to Gail's Garden Herbs and More. Um, supposedly an election is coming up in about a little over a year or so. And of course, now at the same time, I'm hearing again different things that, like I think it's New York, is declaring they're going to require the vax again and all of this kind of stuff. There's several different places I've been hearing all this, and then that Biden had signed that our medical, anything to do with medical is all signed over to the WHO and all of that. I don't know. There's links I could probably get, but if you're listening to much of any of the prep steading or anything like that, you've probably already got some of that information. What I want to give you is whether there's some of that stuff comes through or the people push back and reject it or whatever happens, I don't know. But I just want to keep sharing with you some really important things, because whether we're on lockdown or not, that virus goes around, and other things, different types of cold, what do they call it, I don't know, there's so many different kinds. So on and off, I'm going to be sharing some things with you. Today I want to talk about Chinese skull cap. Now, this is not the American skull cap. This is the Chinese skull cap, and we'll talk about this in just a second. Anyway, these things are awesome. I wished I'd had some of these herbs, these particular herbs. There's 4 or 5, and I've mentioned them before, just briefly. But I had gotten the 19, you know what I'm talking about, and it was pretty rough for me because I have some problems. But now, since right after that, I discovered some of these tinctures with these herbs, and I haven't even had a cold for the last couple years. So not that I won't, knock on wood, but so far, if I feel something coming on, I start taking those tinctures, and man, it just knocks it right out. Now, for a long time, I was using the elderberry and ginger, and that stuff's good, but it's not quite as potent. And you definitely, anytime if you can catch things at the beginning, it's easier to knock it out. But these will even shorten it. If you already have it, it'll help a little bit to shorten it. But still, if you can catch things right at the beginning, it's good to have this stuff on hand. And we never know what's going to happen with our supply chain, so I would advise getting stuff ahead of time. Tinctures of all the different forms to keep your herbs. Tinctures is one of the best because it lasts the longest. Your dried herbs are good for making teas and stuff, but they only last about a year, and your oils only last about a year. But your tinctures, they can last for years. So unless you use them, I use mine for a lot of things, because these tinctures, several of them that I'm going to be talking about, are good. A lot of them are good for more than just viral protection. There is all kinds of things that they help to protect you from. I know when my blockage gets blocked and backed up in my gut, that I get a lot of bacteria buildup and stuff, so I start taking some of these tinctures, and it really does help. But they're mainly known as being antiviral, and so let's discuss a little bit about the Chinese skull cap. I'm going to unveil it here on the table in a minute. I have it covered because it's right in the sun. I don't want to keep it out in the sun too long, because the sun will start destroying the good properties within it. If you've already had the main shot and the follow-ups, I don't know, your immune system is going to be, and I've followed and read after and watched several doctors that say this, your immune system is going to be majorly compromised. So I don't know how well these will work with the compromised when if it has no immune system to work with. I don't know. It might. I would think it would still help some, but I don't know to the extent. I haven't seen any studies on that, so I can't really tell you. But if you're a pureblood and have not been contaminated, then this should help. I know it's really helped me, and I know of others that it's helped too. So here we go, Chinese skullcap. Okay, let's unveil this. Before we go very far, this sun is really rough. This is licorice root tincture with vegetable glycerin. And I have a couple videos talking about that one in specific that tells you exact measurements, how to make it and everything. Look, just click on my picture. It'll take you to my channel. Horizontally across the top are little things, little words. One of them says videos. Go to the one that says videos, and then you can, if you have a computer, I think it lets you search through the videos. I don't know how you do it on a phone. I haven't figured it out. Maybe it's just the cheap phone I have. Okay, now, the tincture that I'm talking, and the reason I talk about the licorice root is because it works with this tincture and makes synergistically to make it work even better. And the interesting thing about Baikal skullcap, which is Chinese skullcap, is that it's kind of like the licorice root tincture. You can take it with some other tinctures, and it also has a synergistic effects with the others. So with all of it, they all work together really well. But I want to concentrate for a minute on the Chinese skullcap, or Baikal. I guess I don't know if I'm saying that right. But anyway, let's talk about it. Okay, I just got some of the seeds for it. I want to grow my own. And from pictures I've seen, it looks a lot like the American skullcap, but the medicinal qualities are a little different. And I've talked about some of that in some of my other videos. Now, I planted some of the seeds in there. That's just a lettuce coming up. That's ginger over there. I am hoping that the seeds come up. It's really kind of the wrong time of year. But I do see some little things poking their heads up, so I'm hoping, oh, and here's more. So I'm hoping it's coming up. This stuff just falls off from the trees. But, oh yeah, and there's another one there. So this is exciting. I can make my own tinctures. I really want to try to start using the 100% alcohol instead of the 80. The 80 is really good. And I can double tincture and do pretty good because it's hard to find the 100 proof. Okay, I'm going to walk and talk to you a little bit about the some of the properties of the Chinese skullcap. It's a broad spectrum, so it's not just for the 19 that's running around, but it's very broad spectrum. And it does some of the same things that elderberries do, like in inhibiting the viral replication. But the Chinese skullcap also suppresses the viral gene expression and reduces the viral RNA that's in your cells, the infected cells, and it inhibits fusion with the cells. I could go on. Interferes with viral entry, and you can just go on and on and on. It does so many different things to help fight against the viruses. Really good. It also does a lot of other things. It's an astringent, a cholagogue, a diuretic, an antistatic, antioxidant, expectorant, fibroid, hemostatic, sedative mildly, a nervine, neuroprotector. I could go on and on and on. It fights against, as I said, it was broad spectrum. It fights against the adenovirus, avian infections, bronchitis, coliphage, coxsackie, B virus, Epstein-Barr, hepatitis, I could go on. Measles, mosaic, influenza B, influenza A, which is H1N1 and H3N2, resistant, non-resistant, human T-cell leukemia virus. I could just go on and on and on. I mean, this stuff is awesome. So you can use it to fight the viruses, especially the pandemic influenzas and encephalitis and respiratory and the pneumonia and things that affect the central nervous system. And it even helps in the GI tract, as I told you, helping with the inflammation. And urinary tract infections. It's even a good supportive in therapy for cancer, a lot of that is depending on situations and how it's used and what therapy you have and that kind of stuff. And yet some cultures use the leaves as steamed vegetables, and the dried leaves are common as a tea. So it's a very safe herb if you're a human, but it's not safe for the viruses. Guys, you need to really think about Chinese skullcap. It is a really awesome herb. I could go on and on about it, but this is just a few highlights, and I hope you look into it. Okay, now I do have to say that I'm not a doctor. I just do my own research, and I share with you things that have worked for me and information that I've found. But you're going to have to research some stuff on your own. I mean, that's in your ballpark, your hands. I'm only trying to put suggestions out there that you might think about and share with you what I do, and try to make it fun and interesting and a pretty background at the same time as best I can. As I've said before, if you're trying an herb, a new one for the first time, always, always, always just take a little and make sure you're not allergic to it or anything like that. I don't think there's a whole lot of people that are allergic to Chinese skullcap, but you might be one of those that are. So just try a little at first. Make sure that you're not allergic to it. Maybe just put a little on your skin somewhere, and then if nothing happens, try a little drop on your tongue. Or, always start out slow with a new herb you've not tried before. Give it time, and then you can go from there. I'm going to go ahead and close with that. And this is my eggplant. It's been years since I've grown an eggplant, and I forgot how absolutely beautiful an eggplant is. I mean, even the plant itself, it's kind of fuzzy, and then the colors, the purple and the green, and the blossoms. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm not talking about eggplant. Well, not supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead and close, and we'll catch you all next time. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It really helps. Share, if you would, on your social media to get out my message to people. I just want to help folks. Thanks, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.